guys, Daniel from Unidan Engineering here. For a long time now we've been asked by many people about how do you make the Unimog go faster. So for a lot of years we've been fitting the Claas Overdrive, but for better or for worse they're no longer available, so they've been taken off the market. We don't have that option anymore. So we've been hunting high and low all around the world, testing out a few different things to work out what's the alternative. So we have come up with high-speed crown wheel pinions. Here's a set here. This is actually standard crown wheel pinions, but this particular truck has the first set, I believe, of high-speed crown wheel pinions in Australia. So why do we need high-speed crown wheel pinions, you ask? Well, this old truck, or should I say this old truck, in standard format, the standard ADF tyres, will do 86 kilometres an hour at 2600 RPM. So the theoretical redline of the motor that's in this is 2800 RPM. So we don't want to be sitting on redline day in, day out just to try and sit at 90 kilometres an hour. So first thing we usually do is put the taller tyres on it. This will get us to about 92 kilometres an hour at 2600 RPM. From there, again, a lot of people like to sit with the speed of the traffic. So the next step is the crown wheel and pinion. This particular truck with the taller tyres on it, for the last month we've been testing it in low speed applications, high speed applications, and we're getting 2350 RPM with these tyres at 100 kilometres an hour, which is identical to the old Claas Overdrive. So obviously the fact that we've pushed up our gear ratios and made it a taller, more high speed vehicle, there is concern that we're going to lose our off-road ability. And yes, agree, there is that concern. What we've found, in general highway use or around town, we've always started off in third gear. Still, with the high-speed crown wheel and pinions, we're still starting off in third gear. It's nice and comfortable. Off-road, we're obviously dropping back down to second and first gear. But for the average four-wheel drive trip, Fraser Island, all the deserts, national park tracks, fairly serious off-roading, first gear is going to be more than sufficient. If you then decide that you want to go extreme rock crawling, taking these techniques to where they really can go, we would recommend a working route, which we can also supply for you as well. For those of you who don't know what a crown wheel and pinion is, we come down here, one I prepared earlier. So this is the original crown wheel and pinion, this being your pinion, this being your crown wheel, out of this vehicle. So those two live up in here, inside your diff pumpkin. So as you can imagine, there is a fair bit of work to get that out and on the floor and the new one back in. So yeah, it is a fairly time consuming job. We've literally got to pull the axles out of the truck, separate it all, split the diff in half, put the new gear in, put it all back together again, and then reinstall it all. So it's fairly time consuming, but in my opinion, well worth it. Alrighty, so we're going to take this girl for a drive, just so you can see the exact comparisons. This one's got standard ADF tyres and standard gearing. So yeah, let's go for a drive. So as you can see, the standard speedos are always incorrect. So when we get up to speed in a minute, you'll see we're about 8 kilometres an hour out at 86 k's an hour. This traffic goes away. We're doing 2700 RPM. 2600 RPM at 86 kilometres an hour. And that's pretty much the standard for an ADF truck. So a lot of people out there thinking they're getting 100 kilometres an hour, and that's 100% because of the incorrect calibration of the standard speedo. Now, obviously, there are some people out there claiming that they can do 100 kilometres an hour with some 395s on. Yes, it is possible. However, with an engine that revs with a red line of 2800 RPM, sitting on 3000 or 3100 RPM is not going to do your engine much good at all. So you've probably got to weigh up the decision to either slow down, put a high-speed crown wheel pinion in, or possibly weigh up a new engine every 12 months or so when it blows up. So obviously the ability to drive at 100 kilometers an hour is not for everybody. You don't have to do it. We have a lot of trucks that in our own trucks that we don't do it. But as somebody who wants to tour, I believe the high-speed crown wheel pinion is a perfect solution. There's no extra maintenance, there's no extra gearing, there's no extra wiring or hosing to do. It's literally install them, set and forget. You're going to save yourself a bit of fuel, and you're not going to have as much cabin noise. Alrighty, so we've gone for driving the stock truck. Now we're going to take this one for a drive. So, let's see the differences. As you can see, we're doing, what are we doing? 85 kilometers an hour at 2000 RPM. So before, at the same speed, we were doing, 2700 RPM. So a massive difference. So much more comfortable, so much easier to torque. Obviously you're going to use less fuel if you stick at this sort of speed, but then it obviously does give you the ability to do the 100 kilometers an hour if you want to. Now just to give you an idea, this truck does have our calibrated speedo in it, so we're now, we can change the calibration if we change tyre sizes or find out it's a little bit out, we can actually just go and tweak it to make it exactly what we want. So now we're doing 100 kilometers an hour on the GPS and on the speedo, and we're doing 2350 RPM. So for me, I'm pretty damn happy about that. So it's very comfortable, nice cruising speed, we're not stressing the motor. Obviously saving some fuel, and it's just a much more comfortable drive all round. So this is pretty exciting. We've now come into a 110 zone. Comfortably only sitting on 8.5 pounds boost, 115 kilometers an hour, 450 degrees an hour exhaust gas temperatures. So we can sit here day in, day out. Just coming into this area, we're still a 100 zone, but we cruised up a reasonable hill at 100 kilometers an hour, not changing back into gears at all. So I think it's chalk and cheese on an ADF truck or a standard ADF truck. Alright, so the question with our high-speed axles is how's it going to perform off-road? Now, our little test track here, it's not exactly extreme off-roading. However, we generally show people how the trucks go up and down here, and a lot of people say, wow, can this truck really go down there? Well, again, for me, it's not really serious off-roading, but this will give you a bit of an idea about how the first gear with our high-speed axles will perform. So we'll just take off here. We're in first gear now. To give you an idea, the concrete part of this is 17.5 degrees. Take into consideration this little lip here, it's about 24, 25 degrees. So not super tough as far as a Unimog is concerned, but it's pretty steep. And we'll go backwards. And we're only at 800 RPM here now. Pretty much the idling back up the hill. So still got plenty of control, still nice and slow, obviously not working group slow, but so there's no braking or anything going down here, and it's pretty comfortable.
This is 17.5 degrees. So the side tipping angle of a standard Unimog with a standard tray in the back is 38 degrees. As I say to all of my customers, I certainly wouldn't want to be sitting at 38 degrees. But to give you an idea, all of our motorhome bodies can drive on this without tipping over. As you can see, just sitting here, it's not too uncomfortable, but it's certainly not comfortable, especially for a newbie that's never been in a truck before. Then coming back out, back into first gear, four-wheel drive. So we're at 1,000 RPM. Again, not super slow, but certainly slow enough to do most tracks in Australia. Okay guys, I hope that cleared up a few questions about our high-speed axles and what it can do for you. To me, I'm super impressed and absolutely love it. We've got our second set going in right now into another truck, and we've got more on order. One thing we get asked every day is what order should I buy everything in? Some people just bring their truck in and go, just Dan, throw everything on it and away we go. However, most people want to slowly budget it way through or try and convince the missus that I need this, I need this, I need this. So for me, the order of what you should do is a decent set of tyres. We all know 80F tyres are absolute rubbish. Maybe not rubbish, but on a Unimog, they're not going to cut it for you. Secondly, if you're going to do a bit of touring, High-Speed Crown Wheel and Pinion. To me, it's a no-brainer now. They're unreal. Thirdly, if you need it, horsepower upgrades. If you've got your High-Speed Crown Wheel and Pinion, but you can't just hold your gears up and down the hills, yeah, horsepower upgrade. And then lastly, if you want to go do some really serious off-roading, it's the working group. Now that's going to give you the ultimate touring truck. So severe off-roading, working group, high-speed axles, more comfortable speed, saving a bit of fuel. Obviously your tyres to give you some traction off the road. So that's it guys, hopefully that was helpful. So yeah, best bet, if you're interested in any of these products, give us a call or email. A lot of people try and get us on social media. To be honest guys, it's really, really hard. I think we've got 5 different social media platforms now. It's really hard to keep up with it all. So email, phone call, it's the best way to go. We will get back to you. Thank you, talk soon.